Hey gang, Coach Mel here from CrossFit Extra Mile, and as we come into the new year and I start thinking about New Year's resolutions and setting goals, something else came to my mind, and that is the veteran CrossFit athlete. I myself have been CrossFitting for about 7.5 years, and in CrossFit years that seems like a super long time. And I know that as a veteran athlete, it can sometimes be difficult to set goals or to think about progress or to stay excited about CrossFit. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. So first of all, who is a veteran CrossFit athlete? Well, I would say your veteran athletes have probably been CrossFitting over a year, maybe even 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 10 or however many years. That would probably be the range that I am speaking to here. There's some specific problems unique to veteran athletes that they might face that might make it difficult to think about setting goals or keeping things new and fresh. And one of the problems is that the newness of CrossFit tends to wear off. When you first start, everything's new. Every day is a first rope climb, first pull-up, first stone to shoulder, first farmer's carry. And you have so many firsts because there are so many things that we do in CrossFit that you might not find somewhere else. So it's easy to stay excited because there are so many firsts. But eventually, those firsts run out, and you might find yourself doing a named workout for the third time, or class feels familiar and routine because the newness is worn off. Another thing that happens to veteran athletes, and I think probably the most challenging thing that happens, is that your progress starts to slow down. I think one of the reasons CrossFit can be so addicting for a new athlete is that your progress is so tangible and usually so large. When we first start, we might see athletes start with a PVC pipe, and a couple weeks in, they're on a trainer bar, and then they're using a regular bar, and they're PRing every week, and every workout almost is something new that they've accomplished or learned. And it's easy to get addicted to that feeling, and it can be difficult to keep yourself motivated when you don't see that kind of progress. Your progress changes or slows down, or you might not think you see any progress at all. Another issue that can face the veteran CrossFitter is that they may have met all their goals. They might start at the beginning of 2018 or whatever year and write 3 goals up on the goal board and check them all off, and maybe they've done that for a few years in a row and just having a difficult time thinking of a goal. Maybe you're not sure what your goal should be, and you've already accomplished everything you think you can accomplish in CrossFit. These issues can make it difficult to keep yourself motivated, to keep CrossFit feeling fresh, but there are some ways to combat that, and I'm going to talk about those today. One of those ways is to reevaluate and maybe change the goals that you set for yourself. Maybe when you first set goals, you set very specific goals for in the gym, first rope climb, get a muscle up, etc., etc., etc. Maybe you can change those goals to things outside the gym. Maybe it's health goals or body goals, or maybe it's hiking a certain trail or competing in some kind of race. You can expand your goals outside the gym to keep yourself motivated. Another thing that you can do, and again, I feel like this is probably the most important thing, is you need to start thinking about measuring progress differently. Maybe progress doesn't become PR, but now progress is improvement in technique. It's doing something for a little bit longer. Maybe before you could do 10 pull-ups in a row and now your goal is 15, or maybe you're reducing your mile time, or you're changing your goals so that you aren't just necessarily all about hitting PRs, but your goals are different. Another thing that kind of goes along with that is look for small progress. Look for progress that might be outside the norm. Maybe it's not something typical, but maybe it's hand position in the lift. Maybe it's videotaping yourself and getting those little tiny details just right. And that goes along with savoring the journey. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the goals, but about the joy you get out of each workout, and the joy of being around your friends at CrossFit Extra Mile or CrossFit Extra Mile Central or wherever you work out. Savoring that journey and not being so worried about the destination. Another thing that's very important to do is to avoid comparisons Maybe you compare yourself to that person that started when you did. Maybe you compare yourself to the person that started 6 months after you did, or a year after you did. That kind of comparison, when it doesn't work out in your favor, can give you a very negative feeling and make you not want to go to the gym, or make you not see the progress that you have made because you're comparing yourself to someone else who may have a completely different background and set of skills than you do. Another thing you can do is you can change up your routine. Change the class you go to, change the days of weeks you go to, add things in outside the gym, try rock climbing, try roller skating, change up what you're doing, take a break, come back. Look at CrossFit differently in what you do when in your gym. Maybe when you're in the gym, you really have a focus on gymnastics. You could change that up to weightlifting. But do something to shake it up, make it different. If it was me, I would buy myself a new pair of pants, but that's just me. Something that's important to remember in all of this is that no matter what you're doing in your life, we all go through seasons, and those seasons are going to have different challenges, different contexts, and different outcomes. And what is important to remember is that CrossFit is a journey. It can be long and winding, it can be like a roller coaster with up and downs. But the thing is that it is a huge part of our lives. And as veteran athletes, sometimes we've got to consider some of these options to keep ourselves fresh and in the game. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.